Tell me what this chair sits so low.
You think it need elevated a little more? Elevate the chair a little more. Out
But he's going to ask me questions.
About Robert Clark, essentially, and your own experiences in the house. I think that's highly good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm sitting on the ground.
Oh, really? Yes. Yeah, that's better than it. You ready? This is an interview with Representative Mary Ann Stevens for the Jackson State University Robert Clark Era Oil History Project. Representative Stevens is in a conference room in the state capitol, and the time is 12:55 p.m. Good afternoon, Representative Stevens.
Good afternoon to you.
Let me start with your early adult years. Now, you attended an undergraduate school, college. What's your undergraduate college?
I did not attend college.
You did not attend college?
No.
I understand that you were a director of the West Primary Health Care Clinic.
That was all part of my responsibilities as mayor of the town of West. That was a pilot project that I was able to get for the town.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right. And then you have been involved with the North Central Planning and Development Board for Holmes County. Any comments on your accomplishments?
That is really not correct. I don't know where you're getting this information.
Okay.
But I worked very closely, and I might have been appointed to that board one time, but I really never did anything because I was had a full-time job at the Holmes County Bank Trust Company in West, plus was mayor for 8 years. I worked in the bank 15 and was mayor for 8 of those years. I started out on the board of Alderman. It was my first elected position. And then I was drafted to be mayor of the town of West and was on active mayor when I was elected to the legislature in 1981.
All right. And so you served as mayor how many terms?
2.
2 4-year terms.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what accomplishments can you boast of having been mayor of West? Any major accomplishments that you want to share?
We had to have a new water system. I put in a new water system. We had no sewer system. I put down a sewer system so people would be eligible to borrow money from Farmers Home Administration because our soil would not percolate and they could not get a loan from them to build houses. I reconstructed all of our streets. I used the first revenue sharing money to expand our library to 2,100 volume library and refurbish a building on Front Street that still houses the library, and it had a small area set aside for our city hall. I built a brand new city hall with 100% grant. I got a grant to buy land and develop an industrial park that we now have small industry on. I established the West Primary Health Care Clinic, which was a pilot project with the old HEW, using the nurse practitioner concept to provide health care to the senior citizens and disabled citizens in my area who had no means of transportation and had to pay people to take them to the drugstore to get their medicine.
I see, yes.
And this clinic is still in operation today by the University Medical Center, open 2 days a week with a nurse practitioner. So those are some of the things that I was able to accomplish when I was mayor, and hold down a full-time job.
And after 8 years, you said you want somebody else to have it?
No, I was encouraged to run for the legislature. A gentleman in the district resigned, and I was encouraged to run, and I took a leave of absence from the bank in January of '81, and I won, and I've been here ever since.
And so, just to reflect on who your opposition was, now you were opposed by a man or a lady?
I never had an opponent when I was mayor or on the town board. Well, there were 2 positions open and 3 people ran for the office, and only 2 could win, and so a lady that was in my church and I won. And there was a man in the race, but the 2 of us got the most votes, and we won. People said those women are going to turn the town upside down. And
all right. Good connections and the like.
And then when I ran for the legislature, I think I had I believe it was 8 opponents, 7 or 8 opponents, but I won.
They were all Democrats?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Another question here. Let me just go on to Robert Clark. When did you first meet Robert Clark in Holmes County?
When I was mayor of West and working in the bank. He came to town back in the early 70s and came in the bank, and we chatted, and we went out on Front Street and talked about some of the things that were important to the town, and that was my first time. I knew who Robert was and maybe had seen him, but as far as a conversation, that was our first.
All right. And after you became the representative of Holmes County and Humphreys County and the like, you worked with him in the legislature.
When I was first elected, I did not have Humphreys County. I had West, the town of West in Holmes County. I had all of Carroll County. I had northeast of Greenwood and Flora County. I had Money and Minnesota and Phillip up in Tallahatchie County, and I served in that district for 3 years. And then we had the redistricting, and then that's when my district went down into Humphreys County. I had a lot more of Holmes County that I shared with Representative Clark. And then I went down into Humphreys County and had 4 precincts all the way to the Yazoo County line, and I had a lot of Carroll County. I lost a little bit of Carroll County in the redistricting, and I served in that, I guess, for 8 years, and then the redistricting was again, and that's when I had a different district and went east over into Otala County and lost Humphreys County, and now under the district I'm in now, I have portions of 6 counties.
Good.
Which includes Otala, Carroll, Holmes, Humphreys, Choctaw, and Leake.
All right. Now, this is by redistricting in the early 80s?
No, this is, we redistrict every 10 years under the census.
All right.
So I've had many districts.
Okay.
But Representative Clark and I have always had a very good relationship and work together for things to better our districts and especially Holmes County. And so I'm still have that same rapport with his son, Brian Clark. We're committed to working for things that will make life better for the constituents we represent. And I look forward to serving with him. And I was here when Representative Clark was elected Speaker Pro Tem, supported him. In fact, I made one of the nominating speeches for him on the House floor.
I noticed that. And are you really familiar with the book written by Dr. Will Campbell? That book that was published in 2003?
I'm familiar with it, but I have not read it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had time.
All right. So now, as a representative of this district and the like, what do you emphasize in your campaign to get reelected? Is it economic development? Is it education, upgrading teachers? What are some of the things that you are a strong advocate of?
Well, I've always been a strong advocate of health care.
Okay.
Because we do have a branch of the University Medical Center in Holmes County. They actually own the hospital in Lexington and the clinic in West, and manage or lease the nursing home in Durant. And these are projects that Representative Clark and I have worked on jointly. And so, of course, economic development is certainly has been one of our priorities, trying to get jobs in Holmes County. And we've both been very, very concerned about education. And in fact, I've been in the school over in Lexington several years ago when we had a severe teacher shortage in this state, and especially in Holmes County. Representative Clark and I set up a meeting and went over there, and eventually got legislation passed to try to give some benefits for people that would agree to go into the rural area and teach.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those are the three things that we see that are badly needed in Holmes County. I've also worked very hard to get housing grants where they rehab the houses, and occasionally the houses are so badly damaged that it requires a new house to be built.
So now, this seeking federal funds, or is this independent?
Well, we seek federal funds and funds through MDA, Mississippi Development Authority. You can get grants for housing there. You can get grants to your industrial park. We have an industrial park in Holmes County that we both work very hard on, and receive grant money to try to get the water and the sewer and the upgrade into that park is adjacent to I-55 and Highway 12 going to Lexington. So those are the kind of things that I feel is a responsibility, my responsibility, and making sure that I work with other members of the legislature that are also representing part of that district to accomplish for our people, and that's something that Representative Clark and I have worked on together.
Now, do you recall what year let's see, what's the name of that community college of Dr. Mallory in Lexington? That is Holmes, not Holmes. What's the name of that?
You talking about the Mallory Healthcare Clinic?
Yes. Now that is essentially a clinic now with the closure of that campus. Is that what that really is now? Oh, okay. And so the makeup of Holmes County, is it maybe 40-60 as far as black-white, or is it about evenly divided?
Oh, no. I would think it was probably 70-30 or more. I looked at that one time. You know, those are things that I don't dwell on. I'm there to represent Holmes County,
yes.
Black, white, young, old, rich, and poor, and so I don't really get into all of that.
Yes.
But I think it's probably 70-30 would be a more accurate. I'm sure you could look that up.
All right. Now, have you always been pleased with the committee assignments that you have received since you've been in the legislature? It seems as if you've served on some very vital committees, appropriations, municipalities, peer committee. Let me just start with the peer committee. Now, the legislators have a pretty decent retirement package, Representative Stevens, or not?
Oh, I feel that they do.
Any other comment you'd like to make about that? Since you've been in, have that been substantially changed or not?
No, I think our responsibility has been, especially mine on appropriations, to make sure that we kept it actuarially sound, so that people coming on that are in the retirement system or the retirees that are receiving those benefits, that they will not be diminished.
Now, how many terms have you served on appropriations?
Well, let's see, I've been here since '81, and I probably served on appropriations most of that time. There was an interim there where the rules were changed and you got on appropriations by seniority. I'd have to go back and look that up, but most of the time I've been here, I've been on the appropriations committee. Okay. I've served on a lot of committees, public health. I don't think you call that off, but I have in the past served on public health. And
what about Ways and Means?
No, I've never been on Ways and Means. I requested Ways and Means because I really wanted to know more about the tax structure as far as our municipalities and cities were concerned. But anyway, they always put me on appropriations, which is fine because I did have the banking background.
Yeah,
I understand money. That makes the world go round.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Let me ask some other questions about Robert Clark. Now, what about some of the bills that he co-sponsored or he helped initiate and the like? Any come to mind right off that you may have been totally supportive of in the 80s that you can boast of having signed your name to get such legislation passed?
I can't tell you any specific bill. Back in, I don't know that.
Yes.
I'm sure I've supported a lot of things that he did introduce. He was, I guess back then, chairman of the Education Committee at one time.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what committees he was on when I came.
Yes.
I was sworn in over at Central High, and I was busy trying to get my feet on the ground, and I learned not to always put my name on every bill that came by, because really, unless you read it thoroughly, then you really didn't know exactly what was in it. And then the other danger is that you can start out with a very good bill, but by the time it's amended and goes to the Senate and comes back to the House, it may be a whole different animal.
Yes. Let me ask you something else about, say, upgrading historically black colleges and universities.
I voted for all of those things.
You were supportive?
I voted, yes.
Yes. All right. Now, you know that Robert Clark is one of the prestigious graduates of Jackson State University. Now, would you say that he has been very supportive of just bills to see that Jackson State be upgraded? Has he been sort of magnanimous and supportive of all the other historical black colleges and universities?
You're asking me questions that need to be researched before I answer.
I see.
I can say that he has always been very supportive of education as far as K through 12, IHL, and junior colleges, and tried to look at the big picture and do what he could within the funds we had available.
All right. Did he have a good relationship with Buddy Newman in the early period as you came in?
Well, as I recall, he's always been well respected in the Mississippi legislature. And I would consider him a gentleman of the first order, and everybody respected him of how he took the responsibility of his two boys after his wife died and brought them down here many days to the legislature, and everybody admired his dedication, and I think it shows what dedication he has, because he has two fine, well-educated sons now that he can be very proud of. And I served on the management committee when he was chairman, when Speaker Pro Tem was chairman of the management committee, and we worked very closely together on that, and he was always dedicated to, even after I was not on the management committee, he was always very dedicated to seeing that this capital was preserved.
All right. Now, Clark did run for the U.S. Congressional District in the 80s.
Right.
Were you identified with that campaign at all?
You know, as an elected official, I don't get involved in other campaigns, and I wished him well in that.
All right. This was 82 and 84. Moving on to some other issues here. You in the 1980s, you were a part of the reforming of the House and the like when Tim Ford was elected Speaker and the like. You were supportive of those changes.
No.
You were not?
No.
All right. Any other comment you'd like to make about the should I say the changing of the guard to some degree when Buddy Newman stepped down and Tim Ford came in?
I think Ed Perry was running for Speaker of the House, and I supported Ed Perry.
All right. On to I would call this the rough and tumble politics in the early 90s and the like. Now, are you saying that Robert Clark did a lot of arm twisting to get some of the measures that he supported in education passed, or was it pretty much these were popular measures that were passed, like the Reform Bill of 1962, the Education Reform Bill?
That was 82.
82, yes.
I don't think that Representative Clark was an arm twister. He knew how to sit down and talk with people and negotiate, and that's what the legislature is all about, learning to negotiate and to compromise.
He used moral suasion in the
Right.
All right. Now, another question. Was he opposed for the Speaker Pro Tem position?
No,
Did you recall?
I don't think he was. I think we elected him unanimously.
All right. Representative Stevens, how do you want to be remembered in Mississippi history?
It's like you're interviewing me and you're talking about Robert Clark.
Well, but still, you worked harmoniously with him, and here again, you know his legacy for the most part, and I'm just simply asking, maybe you have created a legacy yourself, you know, economic development. You have been one of the female mayors of Mississippi. Now, you know you need a black well. Do you?
Yes, I know we need it.
Oh, okay. So now, this is why I asked you that question. So now, how do you want to be remembered in Mississippi?
That I was dedicated to doing the best I could based on the facts I had and the revenue available for my constituency and for the state of Mississippi.
Do you take exception to me refer to Robert Clark as being the most influential African American in 20th century Mississippi politics?
No, I don't take it. I mean, I think he was very influential, and I think he's paved the way for a lot of changes in Mississippi because of his being a gentleman of the first order. And in his general way about, going about accomplishing what is best for his constituency as well as the state of Mississippi.
Do you envision any other African American emerging as Speaker Pro Tem in the immediate future?
Well, there's always that possibility.
Now, I've asked you several pinpointed questions and the like. Are there any that you would like to volunteer, comments the like about Robert Clark? Any personal experiences you had with Robert Clark as a gentleman farmer or anything like that that comes to mind?
Well, Robert Clark, and this was when Buddy Newman was Speaker of the House, and so I was invited to one of Representative Robert Clark's fox hunts, probably the first female to ever be invited to the fox hunt.
All right.
And so I'm not sure that they thought I would go, but I went. And so it was very, very interesting. Had some delicious food, sweet potatoes baked out in some open coals and everything out in Yazoo County. And so following that, I attended many other fox hunts, which
these were annual affairs for the most part.
Annual affairs, that were spearheaded by Representative Clark. And I'm not sure that I have attended one. I know I haven't since he got out of the legislature. But because they became so large and everything, they were not the same.
They just mushroomed as far as support in the life. I see. Now, what about the support really given for that building on Lamar Street? You think that there was no opposition to him?
I don't know.
In other words, there's a Robert Clark building on
the 401 building.
Yes,
no, everybody was very supportive of that.
Oh, okay.
I attended the dedication of that.
Yes. So the leadership, should I say?
We were honored to honor him in that way.
All right. A million thanks for meeting with me and being interviewed at this point, Representative Stevens. I certainly appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much. And you're going to let me see this now before I agree to it?
Yes, we will in 2 more months, I would think. We will get you back your transcript, let you edit it, and should I say, change what you comfortable,
I feel like I was sitting sideways to that camera.
Oh no, not at all. He has you, and he changes it about sometimes.
Well,
right. Now, they're off the record. Do you have anybody you want to recommend that I should interview other than who I already am interviewing? I will interview.
See, I don't have any idea who you interview.
Okay. Of this era, you see. You were elected in the 80s, and
81.
so in that time frame of say 70 through 2000, I interviewed Attorney Ed Perry last Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes. And I hope to interview Representative Tim Ford. Now he's out, you see, but former Speaker, I'm sorry, Representative Ford.
He was always very supportive of Representative Clark.
Yes.
And so,
how many ladies in the legislature?
I forgot, I lost count, but when I was
more than
elected,
30? It's not that many.
No. When I was elected in 81, there were no females in the Senate.
Okay.
There were only one in the House.
Yes.
One other person, Betty Jane Long, an attorney from Meridian.
Okay.
Of course, I had been the mayor and had been on the Municipal Executive Committee and the Legislative Committee. So, I went to Washington every year with the Municipal Association and lobbied for grants for my area. And
And
my
you're successful,
hometown,
yes.
and I was successful because
Yes.
there's no way we had money to put out a sewer system. It was just running in our streets.
It's right on the line of Holmes County and Abston
And Carroll County.
and Carroll County.
Mhm.
Yes.
So,
Well, what's the population of West now?
always probably about 200.
Oh.
It was 3 something when I was mayor, but you know, we had a lot of needs. The first week that I was mayor, we had an old cast iron system that was built under our streets, and you know, we just blew all these holes in the street, and we had to get an emergency loan to put in a water system. And then when I got, applied for the grant to get this sewer system, I also included the reconstruction of our streets because they were in shambles from the old cast iron water system. And you had many people just living on dirt roads. I remember going to Washington and telling them that many people couldn't get butane delivered because they couldn't get into the streets for somebody. But I was very successful in getting all those different grants. It was like a jigsaw puzzle putting it together, but I was successful. And I always said it was the Lord's will that I got that to help the people that I was trying to represent. So I enjoyed being mayor, and I was fortunate enough to get a lot accomplished.
Very good.
With grant money.
Yes, with grant money.
And I'm still happy.
You're well known in Washington, D.C. Indeed. Yes, I would think.
I'm still helping my district with grants because we don't have the tax base, and that's the only way we're going to be able to make improvements.
Thank you. Oh, man. I have the mailing address, you see, because I filled this out. And you don't know who's on my list, as you say, but I will interview about 4 or 5 Representative Watson might agree to be interviewed this afternoon. At least I sent him my information, just like I said. Right. Thank you, Ms.
Well, I have the utmost admiration for Representative Clark.
Did you know Myra Walker Alexander? Did you really meet her?
No.
Oh, you didn't? No. Yes. Well, I work in that Center Jackson. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Oh.